Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Dark Horse Season 2, Episode 1, and the name of this episode is Back in the Saddle. Let me begin by saying I am so glad that Dark Horse is back, and they are back with a bang. You know, I really enjoy this show because it's definitely a dark drama, but it's rich with, you know, great acting and great storytelling. So I'm so happy that Dark Horse is back, and shout out to Emery Johnson. You are playing the hell out of Derek, because Derek had me tripping this entire episode, because with some of the shit he was saying during his, like, you know, confessions was so hilarious. And I'm like, yo, Emery, you were definitely doing your thing in this episode. So let me begin. The episode begins where Derek is kind of like, you know, having like a chi moment where he's saying that he's having peace of mind, he's accepting himself, and he's not letting anyone dictate his life. So we later on find out that him and Neil didn't work out. So him and Neil are no longer together. And I'm not surprised, because Neil and his bipolar, you know, and the way that Neil was acting, yeah, we definitely knew for the fact that you know, the last time we saw Neil, you know, him and Sean was fucking. So we kind of knew from that point on that Neil is unstable. So how can you, being unstable, maintain a successful relationship? It's just not doable. But anyway, so we see that Derek, you know, has moved on, and he has two friends that he's been dealing with. The first friend that we meet is, they don't mention his name in the episode, but his name is actually Steven. You know, we meet Steven. Steven is very poetic, very artistic, you know, very, very philosophical, and we see that him and Derek have great chemistry as far as that. You know, they have great conversations. You know, they were having a conversation about Get Out, you know, about it being this social political commentary, which it was, and it was a phenomenal film, you know. And, you know, they were talking about how white supremacy has effects on so many different levels. So they were having like this deep conversation, you know, showing that they do have a connection, but sexually, on the other hand, the sex is not all that great. Well, let's just say the sex is not all. Well, yeah, it's not all that great. I think I was right when I said it the first time. But yeah, let's just say they end up having a situation that got very messy. But you know, we actually see that Derek is trying to top Steven. Steven is very, you know, is not ready to go there, because he's saying that he's really falling for him. He really likes him, and he doesn't want to take it there until he's ready. But of course, you know, but if anything, like, Derek, like, in his confessions was like, "You suck dick like a vacuum, bruh. You ain't writing no shit." And I'm like, so really, like, the sex chemistry is not there, but they connect in other ways, and we see that there really is something there with them. But let's just say that they have a situation where finally Derek is gonna get that ass, and Derek is all excited and everything. And we see that he's an amateur at this, you know, as far as Steven, because he's like, "Could you get some more lube? Ooh, 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 ooh." And then next thing you know, he starts getting into it, because Derek starts throwing it on him. And he's like moaning and everything, and then all of a sudden, we see Derek's facial expressions change. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope this did not happen. But yet, that's what happened. Oh boy, done painted Derek's dick. And I was like, we interrupt this program with a special announcement. Fleet yourself before you wreck yourself. Steven, we actually saw you in the part of the episode where you were kind of flirting with Derek, where you kind of turned around and you kind of poked it out, letting them know that yes, I want to give up this ass. And of course, Derek being a man, he like, yeah. So why the hell you tooting your ass when you haven't even cleaned out the traffic in your tunnel, bitch? You know better. And he was like blaming it like fucking lasagna. No, bitch, it ain't the lasagna, it's you. He's like, well, I wasn't ready to do this. Boo-boo, you never are ready to have sex. You can have sex at any given moment. Nobody prepares for it. Sometimes it happens at the spur of the moment. Hell, half the time it may happen while you in the backseat of a car, or you may be in the woods some damn where. Sex can happen anytime, any place. Janet Jackson, get into it, motherfucker. That's how the way it happens. Like, maybe, Steven need to watch Pose, because he need Blanca as a house mother to get him together. Cause I'm like, bitch, you can have sex at any time. That's why you should always prepare yourself. Oh, sorry, wrong side. You should always prepare yourself, darlings, because you just never know. So, boo-boo, you already know this boy was trying to get your ass. You should have been fleeting, flossing, digging, whatever it is you had to do to make sure that tunnel was free for oncoming traffic. You should have made sure that his limousine was able to go through the turnpike without hitting any tolls. So that was gross, and Derek was grossed out, and so were we, because I was grossed the fuck out with that. I'm like, boo boo. And the reason why I'm probably so passionate about it, because it happened to me before. I mean, trust me. I am no spring chicken to this. Yeah, and yes, I literally had this guy who did that to me, and it freaked me the fuck out, just like Derek. So when that happened to Derek, I knew exactly where he was coming from, because that's some nasty shit. Like, boo boo, if you're gonna get into the game, you need to make sure that you have all the tools and the information that is needed before you decided to go out and play with the children. Now I'm over it. Now let's talk about this other guy that he's talking to. Now this other guy is Reggie. And Reggie, and both of them are fine. Steven's fine, even though Steven nasty as hell. Trying to blame a damn lasagna, you nasty motherfucker. Anyway, but Reggie is fine as well. And we see that Reggie is Reggie's very charming, and we see that he's really into him, just like Steven is. But I have to say Reggie is more aggressive, and Reggie is more straightforward about what he wants. He wants to connect with him more, but Derek still has this wall up that he won't let him get through. And he says that, look, what is it that you always have this wall up? Every time I try to talk to you, you either shut me down, or you give me like some disrespectful response back, and I just can't fuck with it. So we see throughout the episode, the two of them, they definitely have this combative thing, but one thing that does work with them, they have amazing sex, because Reggie got some good dick, and Reggie know how to work it. And that's the one thing that he loves about Reggie. But obviously, Reggie wants more than Derek is willing to give. So we already see that that's going to be a problem, because Reggie ain't the type that's just going to sit down and play the game. Reggie knows what he wants, and Reggie is not going to be told how to respond or how to feel to Derek's antics. Because he was like giving him, a whole bunch of lip back, and he's like, so what is it? Am I just like another customer to you or something? And then all of a sudden Derek's like, what the fuck you just saying? Next thing you know, they fucking. And all of a sudden everything went down, and you can see in Derek's face, Derek was getting his life, from Reggie throwing that meat on him. And so we definitely see that, yeah, there's some great chemistry there with the two of them. But we already see that there's going to be some drama if Reggie keeps trying to, you know, he keeps trying to break down that wall. And he definitely got a sharp eye, because he knows that something happened to you as to why you're so guarded, as to why you won't share anything. Who hurt you? You know. But then again, multiple things happened to Derek, because Derek mentions it. He was like, I shot a nigga and left him for dead. My ex-boyfriend went to jail for this shit. I was a side piece to a millionaire. I got kidnapped. I'm like, yeah, I remember you got kidnapped. Jacob. Jacob. This crazy ass. Then he said, I almost got killed. And then, to top it off, I find my mother, and my mother is the queen of the mob. How did you talk about that? And I'm like, Derek, you got a great point. That's a lot of shit. And we definitely known you from season 1. Yeah, you have been through a lot. So how do you talk about that with somebody? So it's like Derek obviously got a lot of this stuff that he's holding on internally, and he can't really share it, or he's not going to share it, because at the end of the day, he's decided that he's focusing on himself, and he's focusing on his want and his needs. And right now, he's just playing the field. He's not looking for nothing serious. Whereas Reggie adamantly wants to be in a relationship. So we're going to see how this is going to play out between the two of them coming, moving down the line. But it was refreshing to see them. And, shout out, shout out to both Ronald Hinton, who plays Steven, and Yanko Polanco, who plays Reggie. You guys did a phenomenal job in this episode. All right, but then shout out to my girl Melissa Lozada. She is back. I am so here for Victoria, baby, Victoria DeLuca. So she's back in the scene. But before Derek meets with her, we actually see that Jesus comes back, and shout out to Fausto Martin, who the original Jesus is now back. So shout out to him. Great to see him back on film with his sexy self. And we see that him and Derek have a conversation. But yeah, I had to shout out Victoria because I'm a big Victoria fan. I love her ass. Because I just love her bossiness, and she gives no fucks, and I love that about Victoria. She's like the mob boss you don't want to cross, and she proved it in this episode. So we see that Jesus and Derek have a conversation, and he notices that Jesus is frustrated, and he's saying that he's been trying to get some new territory in Long Island. It's this rival family that they're trying to do business with, and then also Uncle Vinny's is out of jail, and he's been talking all this stuff on the inside of jail, and it's gotten back to Aunt Vicky that he's gonna be trying to take shit over. So now she got to get on top of it. So pretty much Derek was telling him that, look, you kind of need to loosen up and live a life or whatever. You got too much going on. You kind of need to play a little bit. Won't you go find that little loudmouth sideshow Mason? I'm like, Derek, you wrong as fuck. Oh God, it's like, Mason will beat your ass, but they damn. Yes, that shit's crazy, because it's like, yeah, that, so close to home, because the guy that, and we definitely can tell that Jesus is still in love with Mason. He ain't gonna let that go. But he said that he ain't talked to Mason in months, though. But he says he plays the field or whatever. But he says, well, what about, you and old boy? What happened to y'all? And he was, talking about Neil, and he was like, me and Neil broke up. We just didn't work out. But he says, but right now, I'm talking to two people, and I would kind of define them as like friends with benefits or situationships. And he pretty much says that, love is complicated and all of that. So after that, that's when Jesus leaves and he meets with Victoria. And Victoria is pissed the fuck off because she said that I've been fucking calling you. Where the hell have you been? I got people looking after you. What the hell is going on? And she said that, he said that he wanted to go, handle this deal for her. And, he was going to get back to her. But she says that I already closed the damn deal. And as a matter of fact, why the hell you going over there bargaining and shit? When I said what the deal was, that's exactly what the deal was going to be. And instead of you making it happen, here it is, you bargaining. You're trying to make a bargain with the enemy. And I don't need this shit. Because right now, you're kind of reminding me of your father, of all these little fucked up moves you've been making. And she says that people give me reports, and right now, I don't know if it's nerves or whatever, but you need to get on your shit, and you need to be handling your fucking business, you know. And she said that, look, either you straighten your shit up or I'm cutting you out the business, you know. And if anything, you should look to Derek, you know. You can learn something from him. Oh, that did not sit well with fucking Jesus, because Jesus decided to buck back at Victoria, and he was like, yeah, I do envy him because he don't have to deal with this sorry ass family or a mean bitch for a mother. She slapped the shit out of him. And she was like, you know what? I know you feeling some way right now, so I'm gonna let you have that. But if you ever talk to me like that again, I will fucking end you. Now get the hell out of here. And I was like, oh shit. That was fucking crazy. Then we see that Derek meets with Victoria. She lets him know, oh, I know about 2 guys being at your apartment. So she still got surveillance on his shit, because she don't play. You know, that's her cub. And she ready to take anybody out to do something to him. So she still got him under surveillance. And she was like, well, what happened to that other guy you was talking to? And she said that, look, you know, he's like, hey, it didn't work out with us, you know. But she says that, okay, I understand, play the field, but be protected and be careful what you share with people, you know. And then she tells him that his Uncle Vinny's about to get out of jail, and right now she needs to find out his headspace, because he's been in the hole for 3 years, so he's like a time bomb, and I don't know. And of course, you know, Derek is like, really? She's like, yeah, prison is not a summer camp, regardless of what you may think. You know, I've seen some of the best come out there with their brains turned into jelly after being in prison. So therefore, Vinny is a carbon copy of my father. And you already know my father had issues with me because of the fact that I had a black child, you know, with a black man. So I'm letting you know that I don't know if I want Vinny to even know you yet, because I need to find out where his head is. But she lets him know to beware of your surroundings. And then in his confession, he's like, she is really getting on my last nerve. I'm like, you the one that wanted to find your mommy, honey. Now you found her. Now you know what the deal is. So yeah, you got to deal with it, bruh. Because she ain't letting up. She says, I'm always going to stay 2 steps ahead of you. So I'm like, see, that's a mother. That's a mob mama right there. She ain't playing that. Then we see she does have a sit down with Vinny. Uncle Vinny is crazy as shit, and you can see that his adrenaline is high. He's ready to fuck some shit up. And she lets his ass know that, look, you getting in jail, you did what you had to do. You did a job, because really, he was supposed to be the one next in line to run the mob. But because he got locked up and the father died while he was in prison, everything went to Victoria. So we see that he does have this inner grift that he wants power. But she's letting them know that, look, right now you're out on conditions. I need to get you into a halfway house and get you set up, so therefore I can cut you into the action. But right now you need to be fucking calm, and you don't need to be doing too much. So we see that camaraderie. We kind of see that, yeah, there's that real tension there. And I can definitely see that Uncle Vinny gonna be a damn problem. So we're gonna see how Victoria's gonna handle it, because Vinny wants the empire. He wants everything. So we're gonna see how Vinny's gonna move. But we also know that Victoria will end his ass just like she did Victor if he crosses her. So we're gonna see how that's gonna play out. So then we see that Victoria meets up with Angelo, who's of this rival family, who they're supposed to be doing business with. She pours him a glass of wine and said they're going to toast to building a new empire. She even talks about giving him that waterfront property, which is what Clint wants. Which Clint's about to reappear, honey. But yeah, that's the property that Clint wanted, you know, because you know, he actually helped Victor land it. So she's saying that she's going to give him that property as a part of the deal and everything like that. And he's like saying that, yes, you're a good business. He's pretty much soaking it up like, yeah, you know. So pretty much, you know, they're having this conversation, and then he starts talking about Jesus. He starts talking about Victor. And he was saying that, you know, no disrespect to you, Victoria, but your brother was a pussy. He just didn't have the heart. He just didn't. So if anything, you know, she pours 2 glasses of wine. He drinks his, but I noticed she doesn't drink hers. So immediately I'm thinking, she put something in that damn drink. And all of a sudden they start to talk and shit. And next thing you know, we starting to see that he's starting to get hot. He's starting to sweat. And then he starts coughing and everything. And Victoria was playing it out, everything. She's like, well, darling, you must have had too much to drink. You know, mate, like, you know. And he's like, did you put something in my drink? She says, won't you drink some more of it and find out? Oh, Victoria, she was just gunk. She just went straight boss in that scene. And she was like, see, the reason why you and she says, I fucking found out what really happened between you and Jesus. I heard that you disrespected him and you laughed in his face, and you had no respect for him because you didn't respect his father. Well, I'm gonna let you know, it's one thing to fuck with my family, but if you fuck me, I will end you. So here's the situation. All deals and all negotiations are null and void. I own everything. Everything is mine. So she says that, oh yes, and when you get to hell, because he in his mind didn't even know Victor was dead. But then when he was dying, she says, oh yeah, when you get to hell, tell Victor I sent you, you piece of shit. So I'm like, she done off this motherfucker, and now she got a whole new territory that that is now going to be added to what they already have. So I'm like, this is going to be interesting. And then the episode ends with Clint in some therapy session. And from my hypothesis, I think he's talking to that damn Dr. Chase, because Dr. Chase, you know, deals with everybody. And he's just saying that, look, Doc, you're supposed to be here to help me. Okay, so why are you telling me? So why you keep bringing up all these other motherfuckers? Look, at the end of the day, if you do something to me, I'm gonna do something to you. Revenge is the game for me, Doc, and I'm not gonna talk about Ashton. Let it go. Let it go. And I'm like, oh shit, Clint survived. So I can't wait to find out Clint's story, since, you know, because the last time we saw Clint, you know, was trying to, you know, he was trying to stick it to Neil, but since Neil's a top, they got into a little quarrel, and Neil decided to play a game of stab him up, cunt, and stabbed up fucking Clint and left him there for dead. So we see that Clint survived, but the question is, what is Clint's story now? And what's happened since that moment? So yeah, so we're definitely gonna talk about that. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, subscribe to BRTB TV. Now, subscribe. Forgive me, y'all. I'm just so excited that I'm all over the place. Subscribe to BRTBTV.com. I have the link in the description box. You know, and also check out the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook, where you get everything BRTB TV, as well as posts and interactions from fans, the cast, and the crew, as well as updates from the creator, Caesar Williams. So yes, you know, BRTBTV.com, Triangle Fan Club. Yeah, do that first. Then, also, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow every social link that I have listed, you know, in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Dark Horse. So until next time, everybody, take care.